Hi, my name's Gaz, and I've actually been taking care of Brugmansias for over 20 years. So if you want to grow the biggest, healthiest Brugmansias, then you're in the right place. Today's video, I'm going to show you what they're like in March, how to actually set them up ready for the year as to get them the biggest that you can possibly get them with the most blooms. So back in November 2024, I had a bit of a mishap with my health, and it actually made me lose every single Brugmansia mother plant that I had. But all is not lost. I've got over 20 really healthy cuttings, a couple of which are destined for a couple of people, and the rest are gonna start a brand new collection. So if you love everything gardening with a tropical twist, then you're in the right place. So we aim to upload 2 to 3 times a week. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So back in the early 2000s, me and an old friend actually had a competition to see how big we could actually grow these, because we both worked in the garden centre and we both knew they got massive within the first year. So we had a bit of a competition to see which A would get the biggest and B had the most flowers. He actually got the biggest plant, and I'm going to show you how he actually did that. And I actually got the most flowers, so again I'm going to show you how I actually did that. So it was a draw all in all, but it was a really fun experiment. One I'm going to do again this year in 2025. In this competition, I actually started off in a smaller pot where my friend actually went into a larger one. That's why I actually think I got better flowers, because I didn't actually upgrade into a bigger pot as what he had. So the smaller pot, and I think the reason why the flowers that much better, because once it's filled its pot and it can't go anywhere else, it just tends to concentrate on the flowers. Whereas my friends, in a much larger pot, better root system, to actually put out a lot more growth. I'll come on to talk about what fertilizers we used as we go on through the video. So this is Gertrude, and she is soaking up this lovely spring weather, or false spring as I'm led to believe. So don't let it catch you out. I think next week it's give it pretty cold again, so everything tender needs to be wrapped up or brought inside. So just like back in the day, I'm using a multi-purpose compost, and I can't actually believe the price of compost these days, right? And I know I'm probably talking 20 years ago, but used to get 3 bags for £10, and this bag cost me £11, and it didn't even get done, all my Brugmansias. So a little bit disappointing, but that's kind of the world we live in, right? But multi-purpose compost I use for literally everything. These first ones I'm potting up are actually a triple orange. I haven't actually ever owned a double or a triple, I've only ever had the singular. So I'm really excited to see how these turn out. So when potting up, it's a really good idea to check the soil. As you can see here, these have a really decent root system, and Brugmansias, as I've previously mentioned, are really hungry, really thirsty plants, so they will literally let you know if they need some water instantly. You can go out in the morning, give them a heavy drink, and by the afternoon they're actually in full sun. They really look like they're struggling. Now this is the secret to it. You need to make sure that you only ever have one leader. So anything that starts branching out, you need to cut, and just make sure you've always got one stem, and that means it's the main leader. That will help the plant continue upwards. As soon as you leave the plant branching out, then it will stop doing its thing and start thinking about flowering. So how big did we manage to get these plants over one season? Now I lost this part of the challenge, and I got mine up to 6 feet, including the pot. But my friend got his up to 7.5 feet, crowning at around 6 feet. I'm going to go ahead and do some basic plant hygiene now. So I'm going to take off all the yellow leaves
anything that's got disease, I'm going to take off all them leaders or wanting to be leaders, and then I'm just going to give it a really good tidy, make sure there's no leaves dropped around the base of the plant, clear them all away, and I will give these a little bit of a seaweed feed as well. As you can see here, I'm even removing the tiny side shoots that they're throwing out.
So what I want to achieve here is I want to actually get 3 different colours in one pot. I want to get them to a similar height, and I want to actually get them to crown at a similar height as well. But you'll have to stay tuned for this one just to see how it pans out. So these were my mother plants last year, and as you can see, they haven't made it, but luckily enough, I did take enough of these. So what I did with my competition is I actually used fish blood and bone and a hell of a lot of chicken manure, which is full of nitrogen, because these plants are super hungry. As soon as a leaf turns yellow, it's actually quite difficult to get it back green. So what I tend to do is, the minute you've lost the greenness, I just take it straight off. And my friend who actually got the tallest plant, he used just seaweed feed, which is in a liquid form, and he just fed his every week all the way through the year. So these plants are an hallucinogenic, so it's really recommended that you wash your hands once you've done with them, or wear gloves. Certainly don't eat them or make them into tea, as they tend to do in some countries. So to summary, these plants are really just an annual plant. If you've got space to overwinter them, then sure, by all means bring them into a frost-free greenhouse or summer house. But the minute they get the frost on them, like I did this year, then that's it. But luckily enough, like I said, I made a load of cuttings and we can start again this year. So this year, 2025, is all about how big we can get the plants from just what you guys have seen here today. So it's worth mentioning that compost has 3 to 5 weeks worth of nutrients in, so I'm not going to feed these in March. I'll kick these in early April. So if you enjoyed the video, then please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below, as it really does help share it out to other people who love gardening just like we do. But until next time, I'll see you in the garden. Take care, guys. I don't think she'll notice. Do you?
What the is this? And that?